All right, so with field construction in place, however you manage to do that in your room, in your space, it's time for gameplay. In the app, you could set your game at 3, 6, or 9 innings. You could play single games, or you could play series, you could start leagues. When all that's ready to go, it's time to play. So I've got Christiana here that's going to demonstrate for me some of the rules of gameplay. So she's going to bat, I'm going to pitch. And as we talked about before, looking at our field markings, we've got a backstop for our pitcher's mound at either one or in between this space of these two yellow pieces of tape, essentially, field markings. I'm going to use the further marking, which is 10 steps away from the batter's box and the strike zone. All right, so we're just going to play ball. And if I am able to hit the strike zone there, it's going to be a strike. If she puts the ball in play and it's a fair ball, I'm going to try to attempt to throw her out at first base if it's a ground ball. And she's going to attempt to run to first base, and whoever gets there first wins. In professional baseball, tie goes to the runner. In our setup, we do tie going to the fielder, just to give a little bit more of an advantage, because it doesn't matter. You could change the rules for your case, but in this case, we're going to go through a couple of pitches and show how field play works. So we're just going to, again, demonstrate based on whatever distance you decided to make your pitching mound or backstop from home plate, just basic pitching. And again, this whole top square area above the yellow marking would be a strike. So that would be a strike. And obviously, if I miss the mat or pitch the ball below the yellow line, that would be a ball. That low pitch would be a ball. All right, now we're going to demonstrate what happens when the ball is put in play. Again, as we noted before, if you have the accessory of the nets or just anything, it could be a cushion or a couch or something you want to put there that would be your fielder. In this case, I mean, the nets are a nice accessory, but you could use, if you don't have that, you could use something like a beanbag, right? So let's say I'm going to use that as my fielder. Right? This is all about being creative. Letting kids, big kids and little kids, be creative about either the equipment you have or the accessories you buy or whatever comes in the starter kit, and you play ball. This is how it's always been done. So we're going to demonstrate pitching and hitting and what happens on field play. Obviously, if the batter hits the ball and it hits the back wall, they don't even have to run. It's an automatic single if it rolls to the back, or if it hits the home run marking or whatnot, double, triple. Those are automatic. The only time there's actually a base running action is if there's a ground ball and I'm able to field it and try to get the ball over to first base, hitting any of these blue pads here before the runner's able to reach this floor padding. I'm going to give you a pitch. All right, good one. All right, so she got to first base. She's safe. Runner on first. All right, let's try that again, see if I could field one to try to throw her out. Safe. Now, in the case if there's a runner actually on base, on, let's say, first base, there's a chance for a double play, where if you field the ball, and if you use a floor pad that's a different color, as we did here, otherwise you could also use a standing pad, kind of like the way we have standing first base and standing home plate. You could use a standing pad for second base, or a floor pad, or both, depending on whether you have those accessories. But I can field the ball, and I could either touch the pad with the ball or step on second base, just as you would in regular baseball, and then try to turn a double play, or at least get the runner out going to second. In the app, you'll see, in the baseball app, you'll be able to control outs and double plays and things of that nature as the real game's unfolding. You know, that's the beauty of this mixed reality concept, where you're playing the real game and then you're using the app to track scores and statistics and base runners, things of that nature. So let's go ahead and try to get this runner out at first and show some infield play. All right. So in that case, the batter hit the ball and it actually hit our infield fielder. Again, whether we're using a net or a beanbag, that would count as an automatic out. Again, you could play without the infield fielder concept, It could be a handicap that maybe one batter has and the other doesn't. Those are things that could be decided on a case-by-case basis. But in this case, we're using the beanbag as a fielder, so if you hit that, that would be an automatic out. All right, so you see there, just like a normal infield ground ball, batter hit the ball, fielded it, and was able to get it to first base before the runner reached. Standard infield play. As noted before, there's also a double play ball opportunity, and then there's just normal, pop flies. And in this case, as you can see with our field, with our diamond, we've kind of put our home base in the corner, and that's allowed us to have a clear kind of triangular shape towards first base. So any kind of ball that's hitting any of these walls and windows would be foul. Any balls that are actually hit and straight up towards the ceiling would count as a foul ball as well. And even though we do have high ceilings, we do have a certain provision, in our field where if we can just kind of show up here, where if you're able to hit the ball high up beyond the infield and it hits the ceiling, that would actually count as a home run if it goes over the home run marker. And even up on that part of the ceiling, that would count as a home run. So again, depending on how high your ceilings are and what kind of lights and chandeliers and different things are hanging in your particular environment, you have to decide what constitutes a foul, what constitutes some kind of single or multi-base hit. As noted before, we also have a very clear third base line here from home base down the third base line, and we actually have a foul pole, which is a pillar here that works nicely as a foul. Also in our space, right near second base in the pitching mound, we have another pillar, a big old pillar right in the middle of our space. Now what to do if the hitter hits the ball and it hits second base, which is down here, that could be a pop fly or an automatic out. In our system, that's what we do when we actually have the second base pad in place, which is actually not there right now. The standing pad is actually missing at the moment. But if we added a pad there for second base, let's see, even if it was a partial pad and we just kind of had that, that could be our second base pad. Something like that, or even something like, I'd put it that way. But now what happens if the batter hits the ball and it bounces off this pole? Well, in this case, we're calling that an automatic single. And then we have a field marker up here, that band, that green band, above which is a double, automatic double, right? Whereas if it goes all the way up to the ceiling there, that's actually a foul ball. So most times when the ball goes up and hits the ceiling, we just by default would say that's a foul ball. Unless you have a really deep ceiling far close to the back wall, you might want to come up with your own rule to mark that as an extra base hit. So again, this is very dynamic, and I think case by case in your own space, you get to decide how field setup and also gameplay works. That's the beauty of basement sports. It's all about kids having fun, making up rules, but we like to provide you with a default set of rules and tools and field markers and things that you can do to kind of have a basic start on hopefully safe, not just to the kids playing, but to your environment, to your home, to respect it and make sure you're not breaking furniture and things of that nature. Safe hours of play and enjoyment and getting physical activity at the same time. So I hope you have a great time, and we'll keep adding more videos and instructional tutorials as we continue to add new accessories and elements, and we'd love to hear from you and see how your field setup is. Submit, send in your pictures, send in your videos, send in your questions, and let's grow this and enjoy this thing here together. Signing off.